A bit shiny for some reason. Well, Hutber Show, midweek Hutber Show. What day is it? Tuesday, 20th July, and I believe tomorrow marks the end of the Kickstarter for Beyond Miniatures, which is why we're here. Specifically, we're here to kind of promote sales, fundamentally. But for me personally, it's much more about learning of the joys of kickstarting. Is running a Kickstarter and thinking a Kickstarter. I'm very keen to do one, and honestly, it scares the shit out of me. So hopefully, this will give us some sort of insight.
Whoosh, Hutber Show.
Some small amount of context. I'm just waiting for a now, and then I saw that when I have it on that view, it does that weird thing. I found that mildly amusing, and now I might not appreciate this on his Kickstarter to promote his Kickstarter. So I apologise now. Wait, that might have been on record. So I've unpaused it now. So
Okay,
I'll
okay.
just give you a quick brief on. There was no introduction. What I did was I played with the video by myself, blinking and moving my head around, because there were three of me. So that was what I did when you weren't here. I have, however, said that it's a Kickstarter, which it is, and yeah, honestly, that's about as far as I got. I'm hoping that most people must have actually heard of this now, because obviously we're is it 1 day away until it's over?
Yeah, a bit more than one.
Okay, like 40 hours.
Yeah, well, we are at 30 something.
Proper countdown.
Yeah.
And I swear, like I think most people must know it, like in within the realms of the, because it goes around like wildfire. Like I have people messaging me going, "Have you seen this?" Not knowing that I know you, and they're just normal. Well, I say normal. They're weird, but yeah, they collect models. So I feel like most people, but if they don't, this is on now from Beyond
Yeah,
Miniatures.
some people won't, I guess.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do, right? I briefly mentioned in the intro that I'm doing this partially for selfish reasons, and partially to promote you. And the selfish reasons are I just want to. I've been thinking about doing my own Kickstarter for a long time. So we've come up with, there might be more, there might be less, but at the moment 8 steps, like key points on what a Kickstarter is, and basically, yeah, I'm interested to see basically how painful it is, and how fun it is, I guess. So all those things, and yeah. So stage 1 is the idea, and now I know that this Kickstarter took 2 years of like start to finish, but how do you formulate an idea to go? Because basically I've had an idea for a Kickstarter, and that idea at the moment is I'll get some models and then I'll do a Kickstarter, and that's where it ends. So like, how do you, yeah, where did it come from basically?
Well, we are really using Kickstarter because we are really small and we don't have many means to produce a line of figures. And the only way we could do it was through Kickstarters. And at the beginning, we were looking for some illustrators or people with good concept arts already made, because doing them, it's quite a lot of work as well. And if they are already made, you know what to expect exactly.
Yeah.
And we found this Russian guy, Victor Titov, and we bought 5 of them, and then we said, how is the only way that we can launch these figures? We can of course launch it one by one, maybe one every 3 months or 4, because we don't have that much productivity. But it was way easier to do it everything at once, pay a full amount for the 5 for all the sculpts, and then go for it. And
So it was think what I like is what I've learned as well is Russian guys are cheap and incredibly talented. There's like this beautiful, and I'm not saying that was a motivation, but just from my experience, like so many of the artists that I follow are Russian, and I didn't realize they're Russian. And then I'm like, how are you guys? I suppose it's the same with painters in a way. Well, Kirill is actually the only. Oh, Land's Russian as well, right?
No, he's Polish.
And I'm Polish, so can I be racist if I'm Polish? Anyway, yeah, okay, well, fair enough. So was it like you basically found okay, you had an idea. That means it wasn't like did you see the art and think that could be a Kickstarter? Or did you go, we want to do a Kickstarter and we need a load of models?
Yeah, we had the idea to do a Kickstarter because we wanted to expand. Beyond Miniatures is a very small brand, and we barely have a range of figures. We have mostly anatomics, and then some figures that are by itself. And as we wanted to do a line, it was kind of a package deal. Doing a line and Kickstarter, it was the only way. So we knew that it was going to be this way.
Yeah. Because I wasn't recording you. Those pauses that you may or may not have seen were not on your computer; they were on my computer. So I think I should just allude to that fact that is why I stopped the recording, and hopefully we got no more. I don't even know what to call them. Just like pauses. But weirdly, the audio. Anyway, no one cares. So planning, interestingly, in my head, right? It's kind of like to do a Kickstarter, you have to have this almost epiphany moment where you're like, and you've got this grandiose idea, and you're like, this is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think now in our industry, doing Kickstarters is kind of the only way to for small brands. Well, and big brands they use it all the time, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
But it's like the only way to really sell and because obviously Kickstarter helps you, and it's a lot more helpful than it seems to reach as many people as you can through a platform like Kickstarter than just releasing a figure. I mean, if you have to release a single figure, you can do that the same with Kickstarter, and you will probably sell more because Kickstarter helps you, and you can do as well some freebies and stretch goals, and and give this single release more meaning. Like it's not just the normal release normal brand will do every time. And when you do an entire range, people understand that like an event. A Kickstarter is kind of an event. It's like something special in our industry. It's like an entire range of figures is coming out
all at once, and I suppose you've got the unique selling points of like the exclusive and stretch goals and those kind of things. But I'm pretty sure we'll get to that with our 8 steps that we've got. It's in a way when you talk about it, makes me want to do it more. But that's not why we're here. So you've got your I was going to say you've already my steps are already screwed up because you've already got your concepts now. But so we can sort of remove stage 3, which was concepts. Stage 2 was planning, and basically the amount of work that actually goes into. But maybe at this point you're not planning the Kickstarter. Maybe actually, well, you can tell me. Did the Kickstarter come first, or did just having all the models finished and then you could think about the Kickstarter?
No. Everything was thought in mind with the Kickstarter. I mean, at the beginning, the first stage is okay. We were doing a Kickstarter. We are going to release full range through Kickstarter, and then we at the same time we are looking for the concept arts. We bought them, and then once we have the 5, in this case, 5 concept arts, we start planning the entire campaign with the sculptor, in this case Lua Garcia, Ahora.
Yeah.
And we do the sculpts, the stretch goals, the extra pieces, and start planning everything that comes along. That are a lot of things, way more things than I
It
expected.
scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, it's of course there are scales of Kickstarters where you can do one figure, 2 or 3 figures Kickstarter, and then or a big one like this. These are, even though they are 5 characters, well, 6 counting the dragon. It's just 9, 10 references, so it's
Still,
bigger than
yeah. It's yeah. So it's the planning stage is massive then, basically, because if you're planning all the, because like honestly, when I sit down to kind of think about a Kickstarter and I'm like, right, stretch goals and everything that else goes into all the images that you have to prepare, you know, like, well, basically everything. Like when I first scrolled through Kickstarters, I wasn't like, oh, this is a big deal. And I'm talking about any Kickstarter. Like I wasn't like, I just saw it as like a product for whatever it was. I was probably like some sort of special torch or something. It's only when I suddenly clicked that I might do my own Kickstarter, and I was like, wow, like I was like, not only do people have to prepare text, they have to do it like properly, and the text has to be legible, and all your images have to be these like themed images, and
yeah,
like
it's a lot of things to worry about, and not just there are things that you don't well, you don't think of at the first time, like the graphic design, not just who will do it, or that you have to do it, but who will think how it will be, the characteristics of it, if it will be I don't know, more fantastic or clean or more crammed with things. It's just a simple thing as the graphic design. It gets a lot of work,
yeah,
and then you have to do uh, tons of images, and because every unlockable, everything, it's another picture, another image. So yeah, this
and
takes quite a lot.
yeah, like, so I think that's another thing of like that. There's multiple reasons why I think a Kickstarter's like an impressive endeavor, as from a, well, a company, a business, or individuals, like because of all that stuff. Like, and it's only when I started thinking I'm gonna have to do one anyway. Yeah. Well, it looks really good though. On the plus side, yours does. And you did it properly, which is probably why it's done well. Because it must have an effect on. It's probably why you did it that way. To be honest, to do it properly, to give you the best chance. Right. So the concepts, we can run through them. Because we've been talking now for 7 minutes, which is actually like, I probably wasted 2 of that minutes just like moving my face around. So we've only been talking like 5 minutes. Oh no, we stopped recording, didn't we, because of all the issues. Right, so here we are with the, I was going to say, and this doesn't make sense, but the ill-fated Kickstarter, which is not true because it's done well. I feel like that's something you say when you're doing a film or something. So the concepts, so you basically, all of these were, they were completely done, or you asked for changes on them?
No, they were already done. These are in fact daily sketches.
Of course, yeah.
The artist does, because he's a illustrator from Wizards of the Coast, Magic the Gathering, and I guess this is just, well, you know, morning warm-ups
It's
and stuff.
creepy,
Yeah.
like
So
the talent.
yeah. He's really good.
Mm.
It's quite
Like,
difficult to get. It's difficult to talk to him.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Even now, when the Kickstarter's gone and he's seen the renders of all the models and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which is busy. So this is the one. This is the cheeky one that I got. Probably because she's the kindest soul. You
Yeah,
know?
you like these things, right?
I didn't even know that was her name actually. um, yeah, it's fascinating actually that somebody, because they're not just good like sketches in terms of technically, they're like creative, which is an interesting thing that you could just. I don't know if he already had his character in his head or they were based on something else he'd done, or it just seems like a hell of a lot of creativity for a sketch.
Yeah, well, he has hundreds of
Yeah,
sketches like this, and we just chose some sketches that were different from each other to
yeah,
have
got you.
a bit of variety of
Mm,
one armor, one this is a bit different, one more
yeah.
human. So you have different things to paint, but he has hundreds of super cool artworks.
I mean, there's a gold mine there if you can ever get
Yeah,
hold of
it
him.
is.
Yeah. You should ask him for exclusivity. Tell him he's net.
Yeah,
Well, that's
for sure.
yeah. Um. Okay. Now, right. Well, all of my steps are actually kind of out the water already because of how you did it. And it's different from how I imagined it was done. But I guess you get the concepts and then you approached. It was the same sculptor, right? Who did them all?
Yeah, yeah. Lua did everything. We
Yeah.
we
Oh, of
we are
course. Yeah.
working with her since maybe a bit more than 2 years ago. Uh,
On this
and
project or just in general, right?
yeah, in general, I,
Yeah.
I I met her like 3 or 4 years ago,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we started working casually, and
Mm.
almost 2.5 years ago or so, we started working fully with Bella Miniatures and this project, and everything is hers. She's the third. Mm, I don't know, the third partner in this uh,
Yeah. I get you. Yeah.
campaign. Although Alejandro and me, we are the owners of Beyond, but she did way more. Like she is the soul, really, of
Yeah. For the, I suppose, yeah, it's like the core of the campaign in theory is the models. That's the thing that sells.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then you're or in a weird way like the marketers, although you are painting the models as well. So I don't think that quite applies, but
Well, both parts have their importance, but of course, and for me, the sculpture is the main
mm,
protagonist.
yeah, yeah, um, yeah. So you did the sculpts, and how long? So it's a hell of a long time. When were they actually finished then?
Uh, the day before.
What, before the thing started?
Yeah.
That is quite funny.
Well, no, it actually was the same day. Yeah.
Fucking hell. So she, poor girl, was like struggling then at the end just to keep up, or
Well, we are we asked for the dragon, the huge
the big
dragon.
boy.
It was sculpted the last one, and
Yeah, you got you.
yeah, it was finished the last day because it was not. Um, we thought about it at the beginning that we wanted a dragon and all this, but of
Mm,
course the other five were more important than this one. And just in case that we had time, we would like to do this, and we had. It
yeah.
was close, but we had time. So
I mean, it couldn't have been closer, really, I guess, in theory.
no, it couldn't.
Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's there, and I never would have known, which is good, because then it's the same kind of standard. This guy was a joke. Like, when I asked you, are you gonna, and then I was like, you don't get scale here, right? You're just like, oh, it's a dragon, and then you're like, what is, and that's not a 30 centimeter ruler though, is it?
That's 14 centimeters.
Yeah, yeah. This is one. Oh, so it's like 30 centimeters basically.
A bit less, yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that painted. In all honesty. Okay, and then also all the sculpts basically. Did you ever have to talk to the? I know it's not related, but did she ever have to talk to the artist to get confirmation or anything?
No. We at the beginning we just signed an agreement that we were going to reproduce these figures, these concept arts as figures,
Hmm.
and that's it. That's
Yeah.
basically it.
So hold on, where are we? That one. Oh yeah. So do you like that I wore? Sometimes I forget to change my t-shirts before I do these shows. It's like my house clothes, basically.
Well, what does it matter?
Oh yeah, and I'm at home, I guess, in theory. Yeah. So all right. So far though, like, what's been the hardest thing in the steps that we're at to the thing that made you sort of go, is it worth it?
Mm, I never thought if it was worth it. Mm,
Mm,
Probably the hardest thing was obviously the sculptures because you know how hard it is to
yeah.
when you have one release. It's difficult. You have to care about a lot of things and cast and the sculpture itself. And we were really invested in the
Mm,
sculpture, so we overview everything in the process. So I guess for Flua mostly it was the most difficult that we were so involved because we made her change a lot of things
right. Yeah.
and and we were kind of pain in the ass. But
I think yeah, that's the
I
kind of the
guess
client's job.
yeah, I guess it's part of the entire. Well, you know, six guys see more than two,
Mm.
and it's better if you have a team.
I think the thing that I'd also struggle with is like I've got two releases now that I'm like sitting on and it's killing me. And I'm like,
Mm.
I just want to release them right now. So the idea that you have like five that you're just there going like fucking hell, like
That was
that,
difficult. That's true. When we
yeah,
started and we had the first one and the second, it was like
yeah,
how we are going to wait until we have all of them. It's
yeah,
nearly impossible to show them to people.
yeah.
And of
Must
course,
have been that's it.
we showed them to our friends,
Yeah.
but it was difficult. Yeah.
It's not the same. I suppose when you show it to friends, if they're honest friends as well, you'll get like good feedback of if they think it's good or not. But it's still never the same as just going like bosh and then like like getting all the reception and it working and like yeah, I can only imagine. It's probably step 8, or stage 8's dead anyway, but it must have been good to actually just publish the Kickstarter and then just sort of
Yeah,
see.
it was really well. It had two phases. The phase where finally this is open now and
Mm,
mm, whatever it will be, and then the other was the obsessive looking at the counter thing that
yeah.
it was yeah, crazy, crazy.
Well, I
It's a
told you that
feeling
I
that
was
it's
doing it
not.
on that first day,
Yeah,
so imagine what it was like for you. Like,
as you are so close to the number and you are looking at it 24 hours, it seems like it's racing so slowly and
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
people is not entering and you are you it was I remember being 2 hours in and I was saying that's a failure, that we are doomed, that this is
yeah.
will be something because but then it was okay, it's just 2 hours, it's just 2 hours, we have
Mm.
to take in consideration that it's just 2 hours, but it seemed like an eternity.
Well, clicking and refreshing. Like, if you did it on, I think what they're like 270 backers now or something very similar. Like, if you divided that by the amount of hours the Kickstarter's been open, and you're
Mm.
refreshing every 5 minutes, let's say, it's yeah,
The problem is that you don't need to refresh it because Kickstarters already refreshes the number.
yeah.
So you just have to be in front
Sit
of the laptop and
there.
you are there for 15 days. And that's basically me since 15 days ago.
Yeah. I was in my head. I was just gonna say if I ever do one, I'm just gonna like go on holiday where there is no internet. But then I was like, but you need to send the updates. You need to do the stretch
You
goals.
have to be very closely and update
Oh,
every day. Yeah.
that that's tough. Okay, right. Which leads us on to stage 5, which was preparing the Kickstarter. But you kind of covered it. However, I suppose you've actually got to go into Kickstarter and add all the products, I guess, and all those kind of things. Like Kickstarter's easy to use.
Yeah, Kickstarter is quite friendly for the newbie. So,
Should
and
be, I
we
guess.
the most difficult probably was to understand the pricing and how, because obviously you have a Kickstarter that takes a percentage,
Yeah, yeah,
and then you have to. In this case, we did it in British pounds because I'm living in London, but we usually sell in euros, so we had to translate it not
yeah,
so easily because it's not the same putting 49 euros to 42 or 43 pounds. So it's different psychologically.
yeah.
And well, we changed the entire campaign maybe 3 or 4 times because we didn't
Not
know
what,
what we were
including
doing.
designs and stuff.
Pricing, designs, everything. We have pledges. We changed the pledges as well many times.
Because you saw others and thought that's the way we need to do it, or you just like got scared.
You when you don't know, you
Mm,
you look at the other
yeah,
Kickstarters, successful or not, and everyone is doing differently.
yeah,
So you don't know what is going to work, what not, and at the end you have to do a decision and
yeah, yeah.
just stick to it, and that's it.
And just hope that whatever happens, and well, not whatever happens, it's good, rather than just crap. I mean, it's worked out well, but I think that must be every person's fear on a Kickstarter, is just that you'll get like 5 backers. You've just spent like, I don't know how much money preparing everything to not break even. It would be a tough.
Yeah, because it's something. It's a bullet, and
Mm,
when you shot the bullet, you are not
yeah,
getting it back. So when you put the Kickstarter live, if people is not responding, it means that they are not responding to that campaign, and you already did
mm,
all the
yeah,
sculptures. You already did everything.
yeah,
So if it goes wrong, it means that you are going to probably lose money in that. So that's why
unless.
the first day or two are crazy, absolutely crazy emotionally.
In a way, it would have been good if you kept like a video diary, um, like every hour, just a little 5-second update or something.
I remember that I was in Alejandro's place because we wanted to do it more agile, everything. So I went to his place, and then I went with my laptop to the dining room, and he was staying in the studio because I had better internet there. And we were like 3 hours or 4 hours in, and I went to the studio with him, and I said, how are we going to stay 15 days with this nightmare and this thing in the chest? Like, why we did that? Yeah,
We've did it, I guess. I suppose it helps a bit when the sales start coming in. Um,
yeah. At the moment you reach an amount that you are happy with,
yeah,
you think, well, now I can breathe. I can
yeah,
enjoy it.
And hopefully, obviously every Kickstarter is different, but hopefully the last day or whatever brings in those people who were, on the fence, and
Yeah,
then it can
but
go up. But
but
again,
also
you've
people,
already made it.
yeah, but also people takes back contributions. So
Oh, interesting.
during all the campaign, you are getting ins and outs, and
Hmm.
you have to, of course, get more ins than outs. But
Yep.
it depends mostly on you, on what you offer in the stretch goals,
Mm.
or of course you can control people with their own financial situations and things that change, and people pues, they wait to the late pledge if they can't now or whatever. But it's in your hand to put some things that people say, I want this, and I will put money to be able to unlock it, or just
Yeah, that's the whole stretch goal thing, right? And like, I guess trying to pull people in, like, because I find it, yeah, I suppose that's stage like 7 or 6 or something, which is running the campaign, which I suppose we're already talking about, aren't we? Like, because, oh my gosh, it's just all this work, like, it's crazy. Where am I? Stretch goals. Like, so you had all these thought out already, right?
Yeah, we had a list with all the things that we were going to offer, but you don't know, because when you start, you don't know how much you will do, and you don't know if you will have. We had like, I don't know, 20 or 30 stretch goals, but imagine that you are going to stick to 20K, like you are not going to do more, then you are losing a lot of stretch goals. Even if you put £1,000 £1,000 instead of 2,000 that we have now. So it's quite difficult to make an estimation and say how much do we think that we are going to get.
Yeah. Because also, if you I mean, it's not realistic, at least that I know of any. Like, let's say you got to like 10 million quid, and you need a stretch goal for every £2,000, you'd be pretty much screwed.
No, what people does is they adapt the amount between stretch depending on the how quick it raises.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that makes sense, to be fair. It's like a logical, smart thing to do. But I do like the way you've laid it all out. Like, it basically looks like, and it is, but it looks like a real Kickstarter. Which I mean, it kind of has to, but still, like, it's just baffling that they don't supply you with all these things. Like, they're just like, right, go and just sort yourself out and make it look coherent and cohesive.
Yeah, you have just a canvas and you have to do it everything yourself.
God, it's crazy. And then right, so running the Kickstarter has been running it, like doing all the sending out the updates, answering comments, all that stuff, like easy, fun.
Yeah, it has been fairly easy and fun, in fact, because we luckily we didn't have much torture for long. It was just we reached our amount very quickly, so we were able to enjoy most of the ride, and doing the updates and seeing how people is invested in the project and talking to backers. It's enjoyable because you're having 2 years working in that, and at the moment that you release that, it's like, come on, let's talk about this. I don't mind if it's just questions or complaints. I don't mind, but this is the project that they want to be in.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because it's all that work. And I suppose 15 days isn't really, even if it's like an intense 15 days, it's it's 15 days of like all that prep that you've had. This is quite interesting. 14 people who backed your project have never been on Kickstarter before. But that's 14, also weird because it means that everybody, or the other, I guess, 143 have 243 have, they love Kickstarter. And
now we have been using Kickstarter for so long that almost everybody has backed 1 or 2 or 3. In fact, 14 backers that never backed a Kickstarter is really, it's like, wow, I'm proud. I'm really honored that 14 people decided to start backing with our project.
And they actually had to sign up as well. Of course, it could be like grandmas buying their grandchildren's presents or something. And but that's still a compliment as well, right? Right, wait, I can't remember the last stage. So, all right, let's just fast forward to 2 days. Then you've got all that prep on, well, actually fulfilling. Because that's the one thing that I think also scares me, right? Is let's just say I made, I don't know, 200% more than I thought I was going to make. And I'm mentally prepared to pack like 50 boxes. And now all of a sudden I've got to pack like, what would that be, 200 boxes, which actually saying out loud is not that bad. But um, you get the money and now you have to go and spend that money to produce the products that people have bought.
Yeah,
But the almost like the honeymoon or that really excitement feeling is gone, and like the dark, stark reality that you have to be preparing a lot of stuff hits you. I think. Well, I think.
yeah, it's a lot of things to work, and we know that, you know, Kickstarters are always late. That's something that we all know. But when you do one, you don't want to be late because and that seems obvious, but it's how it is. And we tried very hard to have everything under control, and we are still thinking that we can do it on time.
Mhm.
I mean, it should be.
Uh,
But you always have this feeling that everything that it doesn't depend on you. That of course you have to hire someone to produce,
yeah,
in our case that we are a small band, and you are leaving in their hands your 2 year campaign,
yeah.
and that's kind of scary because
Mm,
they can in some way screw you if they have a long delay. It won't
yeah,
happen, of course, and
yeah,
it usually don't happen.
yeah,
It usually don't happen, but of course sometimes does, and
yeah,
you are scared of that. And sending,
yeah,
I mean, we will have maybe 300 orders. It's not that much. I mean, it's doable, but
yeah.
still,
But it's those
it,
the third
it's
parties almost, isn't
imagine going to your post office with 300 boxes. Like,
it? Yeah, that's
it,
how are you
they,
going to do that?
they are more than it seems.
Uh, can't you? Can't you like? I've been to. Oh, I was meant to go post office today. Oh my gosh, that's 2 days in a row. Anyway, yeah, I've gone to the post office with like 7 parcels, and I've walked in like that, and I felt like a bit of an idiot.
Yeah,
Imagine going in with 300. Are you gonna? You surely ask them to pick it up or like stagger it or.
yeah. Well, in UK you can make them pick them up,
Yeah,
but in
collection only.
Spain you can't.
Ugh.
uh,
And you
I
have to
think
do paperwork and all that, right? In Spain.
yeah, but you can do it online, so you can
Okay.
have
Yeah.
everything ready in at home, and then go to
Yeah.
the post office and then just take that shit and send it. But
Yeah.
still,
So
300 parcels.
and varying sizes in different countries and but I
Yeah,
suppose and that's the thing though I guess you know it already when you go into this kind of thing you're like if it does well I'm going to have a lot of I guess just normal work to do on getting them
yeah,
ready it's
yeah.
yeah
It's work,
it's
it's
just
just work.
yeah it's just the less glamorous side as it were it's the real side it's the
Yeah, we all do
actual
it. If you have a brand, you know that sometimes
yeah
you will have 10 parcels, 12, 15, 20, and you will have to fulfill them all at
in
once.
theory you want more I mean
Of
you know
course, as
like
much the better.
yeah exactly but what's funny or I don't know if maybe funny is not the right word, but certainly when I started collecting, I see these, for example, Beyond Miniatures, and I'd go to the website and I would just assume it's like a massive, maybe massive's not the right word, but like a company and they've got like a warehouse or an office and little helpers and the reality of like so many of them is just it's like you or me and like yeah is it Luno or Lua
Lua. Mhm.
Lua and you're the guy helping I forget the name of you
Alejandro.
Alejandro. There's basically it's just 3 people, and in theory, Beyond is just you two,
Yeah.
and it just it's like it couldn't be more like, what's that word where people don't like going through Amazon, they want to order in a local shop.
Yeah, in a small
it's
business,
yeah, but like like if someone says small business, in my head I'm like, right, they've got like I don't know 30 people or something, and they've got an office. Whereas this is like it's like it couldn't be more.
You know my studio. It's not small. It's micro. It's like
Yeah.
nano.
Well, what I
It's a
love
nano
is no one
business.
will ever exactly, no one will ever know unless you like film it. But where you've got your cabinet, right? So our now's cabinet is just, yeah, it's an IKEA cabinet, right? But you open it and you're like, and the door is like it must be millimeters between when you open it and
I think
the
it's
other
1 millimeter. Yeah.
and you're like, I don't know if I can open this, and then you go, oh, it's fine, and you're like, ooh. So yeah, micros are good. I think you've done well with the space though, like cabinet, table. Yeah, it's impressive. But yeah, it's still a oh, what's that? Wait, I'm gonna. This might not be the right word, but boutique. I feel like
Well,
that's like a specialized something in like.
it's like a
Okay,
shop, right? Boutique is
yeah,
like a shop, but
but it's
smaller,
like,
maybe. Yeah.
yeah, but it's like a really cool urbany kind of passion-filled shop rather than just a
Yeah.
corporation
I get it. Yeah,
churning out shit, basically. So yeah, I think that was all the steps. There was another step that had a few swear words in, what we can avoid because it was just for banter. I don't think anyone will get the context of what that means, but they don't need to. Right, so I don't know, you're like, yeah, 13 days into it. Obviously, you would do it again, I guess.
we will do it again. Yeah.
You
We
go
have
different models.
we have two projects
Oh,
already in
interesting.
mind. Yeah. Very different ones from
Okay.
this one and from each other.
Yeah. And then if you were just like walking down a man on the street, and he goes, "Should I do a Kickstarter?" What would you say?
Uh, Depends on your mind and your heart. If you have
A
a heart
pacemaker.
illness, don't do it
Yeah,
because you will
yeah,
probably not succeed. Um, but yes, it's a very good way to start something good, something big. I mean, it's easier
mm,
to not just to sell, but to give continuity and to, when someone releases 2 or 3 figures of the same line at once, this line, it becomes sort of collectible. It's like,
mm,
it's not the same as one figure. If you see one figure alone, it's just you like it or not. If you like it, you buy
mm,
it. If you don't, then you don't. But when you have a line of figures that are in the same lore
yeah,
or then it becomes something different, something that you may want to collect or not, but it gives you the option that you will want to have them all,
mm,
or I don't know, if you like 4 of the 5, then you can buy 4 of
yeah.
them in time, or it makes you mm, more likely to or come back or to buy more.
And recognize the brand as well, I suppose. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, like brand awareness and trustability, especially when it's delivered and that kind of stuff. Um, but so there's no, well, there must have been points while managing the Kickstarter where you're like, ooh, this is hard work. Basically, that's what I'm thinking.
It's hard work. It's really hard work, and
Yeah.
mostly the worst part of it is that you have to keep working. Not. I mean, it seems obvious, but you are not
Yeah.
getting paid while you do a Kickstarter. You are
Yeah.
getting paid much later. Like,
Yeah.
we started 2 years ago, so imagine uh, being 2 years without seeing any money.
Yeah.
So you have to be prepared to do an investment of money, of course, because you have to hire people, but
Yeah.
not just that. You have to be able to do an investment in you because you are not getting paid some months.
Yeah.
So it's hard in that way economically.
and in a weird way, now, when you've broken even, to the investment that you've done over the last 2 years, it will feel like you're actually just getting paid because you put that money over 2 years,
Yeah,
whereas now you get paid then, which is kind of cool. It's like, I don't know, an ISA in a weird way, about, but
yeah. It's like you are saving. You are putting money
yeah, exactly.
in a piggy bank, and then 2 years
Yeah,
later you broke it, and it's your money. It's as well your money, but
yeah, it's all right,
as
but it
it's
doesn't.
everything together, it seems more.
Yeah, you feel so happy, but it was already yours. I think I could have done with that like maybe 5 years ago before I got my whole fun addiction into buying Warhammer and other things. There was no piggy banks there though. Right, so I guess 30-ish hours left to back it if they're so inclined. Hold on, I can click it.
Yeah, and we just released a social stretch goal. It's a fun one. It's not a serious one because people is taking it a bit in the wrong way, I think. But
Hold
it's
on,
just for fun. It's
hold on
in the
then.
last.
What was it?
Uh, Go down a bit more.
Ah,
Yeah.
hold on. I didn't look at the cat. I was looking at the text. um, I mean, I would quite like that. It's a cat bat or cat dragon, basically,
Yeah, it's like a dragon,
cleaning
and
himself.
yeah,
Yeah,
all cats do that,
yeah.
and
Literally.
it's basically, yeah,
Hold on.
it's
Wait.
basically to look. But
It's literally.
it seems like it's prepared, but it's not.
But how can you get a cat to? Yeah. Oh,
But yeah, it's like it's just for fun. Imagine having your edgy barbarian with a cat cleaning himself
yeah.
behind.
I think it's brilliant. What scale will that be?
75 millimeters.
Yeah. No, genuinely, I think if I could like make models with no care for kind of artistic integrity and money, I think they're the kind of things that I'd probably be doing. Well, possibly exclusively. Like that next to Elder, and then yeah. No, I think that's a very good. I think that's a very good one. Luckily, she also Lua loves cats, so there was no kind of
Yeah.
weirdness about that. Yeah.
No. Everyone loves him, but the thing is, how many figures did you see lately, or any time that has humor in it in our world, in our industry?
Yeah,
Because I
not
never
enough.
saw one.
Yeah, not especially not like this.
So why
Yeah,
is that? Why we don't have funny figures?
it's
Mm,
too scary.
that's something that we will know with this one. If people hate
Yeah,
it or people like it, I don't know.
it it will be you'll have to pay to get it right. It's or is it
No,
is it
it's
it's
free.
like
It's
its own
free.
stretch goal? Okay,
It's
if
free.
you've
It's an
got a
stretch.
certain
Yeah.
pledge.
If
Yeah.
we unlock it in Instagram, it's just 500 likes or something like that.
That's why it's social. I thought it was social because everybody likes to spend times with cats when they're licking themselves. But no, it's just social. If it gets X, then we will do
Yeah, of course,
this
it
model.
has to be unlocked through social media.
Yeah, right. Okay, so if you spend £150 or more and it gets 500 likes, then we get what's also interesting is we haven't gone through maybe we don't need to really. We haven't gone through the Kickstarter in any kind of capacity in terms of like you get X, Y, Z. But I guess
I
for
think
me
it's
at
pretty
least, I would probably
straightforward.
I'll just go and check out the Kickstarter basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do you want to? No, go
Yeah.
on, explain it. Do you want to?
No. It
Okay.
will be, in fact, it will be really helpful for you if you go through it like it's, uh, of course, your first time.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, you have here someone that can answer it.
many comments and replies, and also FAQs, which are always good. But I did see that you always reply. So basically, if anybody writes anything, then you'll be there.
Yeah.
I think that is us now.
Sure.
As in unless do we have any? Probably not, right? Do we? Do you have any other words or comments that you would like to?
No, I don't think so.
No, other than if to be fair, if you've made it through this hour, the odds are you've probably already either paused or closed us and gone to the Kickstarter. And if you haven't, thanks for watching this far, and now go and look at the Kickstarter. Unless they really just wanted to learn about Kickstarters and the nuances of them. I don't know.
It's cool because I don't know what you thought that we had behind the Kickstarter or how we did it, but I think it's cool because I never saw no one talking about how hard it is or what does it take to make one and those things. It's like you see Kickstarters every day, but no one has information about the behind the scenes.
Yeah, and from like, I mean, I'm in web development, and this goes so far beyond web development, but it's on a website, and I know that a lot of like admin things for these kind of sites are actually terribly bad, but you said it's not that bad, so yeah, like from that, I wanted to know more like the mental side of things, and the amount of work, like planning wise, and all that kind of stuff that went on, because honestly, like the thought of doing a Kickstarter terrifies me. Like, because you have to be like so on point, you have to make sure that everything is just like correct, and I'm not really a correct person in those regards, so it's like, yeah, I was really interested to see, and I hadn't seen anybody else do it, which is why I wanted to steal or pull your information.
You still can be yourself in the Kickstarter. I never got myself when doing the updates, for example. I do them like I'm talking with a friend or with a colleague. So I'm not just this corporate entity that is talking to you through an email. And I don't know if people likes it or not, but I wouldn't do it any other way. Like, I prefer to be approachable and friendly, and I'm just a human being like anyone else.
But you also have that side, which is reassuring, and I guess more normal the way I see it. But then you've also got the professional side of all these things, and that's the side. But that is for another day. As in, I know I've got more of an insight now into how difficult it is, so I appreciate that. And
I appreciate you having me here to explain my stuff.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Other than the heat, it's because I turned off my fan. Obviously, is your fan been on this whole time?
Yeah.
Sacrifices, eh? No.
You are not hearing, right?
No, I can't hear it at all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's beautifully, perfectly quiet. Whereas, hold on, just you can hear it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been lovely.
Maybe just at the beginning. Then it goes quiet.
It levels out.
Yeah.
Okay, I could have tested that actually before we started, but it's too late now, isn't it? So thank you now, and I guess people check out the Kickstarter.
Thank you.
Cool.